everybody. I'm Anita Hebert, the Executive Director of Curriculum, but as you guys all know me, friend to all teachers of language arts, and that's why I'm here to talk to you a little bit today. I've run out of me, and I can't get to every campus before the end of the year, though you know I'd much rather be visiting with you in person. But I thought, because I know there are a lot of questions that you have and things that you'd like to have answered before the end of the year, and know what to look forward to next year in this kind of change time that we're in as we look at new texts that we're responsible and have been responsible for this year, but we've kind of had a haphazard way of doing that. And then what we look forward to with new textbooks and what kind of thing we have to do with our new curriculum. So that's why I'm taking some time just to do this informal video. I'm not going to try to be perfect for you guys. I'm just going to talk to you about some things I've worked with other people about and try to let you know what we need to do that will involve some change, but to get to the very best instruction for our kids. So I've got some notes here. You'll see me look down, but I'm just going to visit with you a little bit. We have a big job with language arts. Our tax scores have just come in, and I'm still in the process of digging through all that. And once again, we've risen to the top. You guys do amazing things. Our writing scores are so good this year, and that's something to be proud of. Also, our reading scores, again, third grade I thought might go down a little bit, and it's just taken a tiny little hit in third grade reading after not having that big high pressure thing that they've had in the past. So there's a lot to be proud of, but as I look ahead, and that's part of my job that we have to do this year, is a big one with implementing the new texts. And as we look forward to some of the requirements that we will have when we have the new STAR test coming our way, we find out that things really are going to be different. Of course, you know from looking at the new text that they're genre-based, and that means we've got to know all of those genres. And from what my understanding for the new STAR test, all genres are available for testing, and also they can be, starting at fourth grade, they'll be paired up with other things in any combination of pairs. For instance, reading a nonfiction passage might be paired with a poem, and students will have to look at common themes and common elements across the two genres. And so that tells us one thing about our curriculum is we've got to read a lot of different things and a lot of different things woven together. Not just have a poetry unit, but poetry has to come and land in part of our discussion all throughout the year. We need to do drama and look at the drama elements and know that we understand how that's different from a story. And so I think that's going to be something that we've got to be very purposeful about as we look ahead to our new curriculum. Also, there is writing that is involved. In fact, the writing will be much different. It is, some people have said it's like old TOS writing. And in some respects it is, because more of the specific genres are outlined for us that we need to be able to do. Students need to be able to write reports. They need to be able to write just regular informational text. They need to understand how web pages are built. They need to be able to write many different kinds of stories and fiction. And they need to be able to write letters, and particularly persuasion is a very big part of our new text all the way up from 2nd grade through 12th grade. So those are things that we've got to be also purposeful about in getting our writing instruction aligned all across grade levels. It's certainly not just a 4th grade task to do that, and it's going to take writing every day. Now, what I've been telling people, from as I understand the new text, is there's a real reading and writing connection. That in our classrooms we want to do a lot of reading every day. And that's real reading, authentic literature, not text passages, not contrived things from worksheets, but real reading every day. Lots of reading. We learn to read so that we understand it, we gain information, we learn and enjoy it, we learn all those purposes for why we read. But also, we do reading as a model for good writing. This is where I've got to talk to you some about instruction. And because we do such a good job as looking at how does the author set up a great story, what is his craft? What are the things he does to make it be so good? How does he use vocabulary? How does he use good sentences? Not only do we look at it to gain comprehension and understanding, but we also look at the craft of the writing, what good writers do. And so we've got to do that all throughout our instruction all year long, is read for good reading, but also as a model for good writing. Then we must practice good writing that is so good that somebody wants to read it, because I know the craft of writing and I can make it engaging. I can even learn to write a report that people want to read, or I can persuade someone to do something. And I know how authors do that because I have lots of good models in my reading. That's how we're working to set up our curriculum. And that brings me to some of the things we've got to think about in our instruction. The first thing, and I'm going to write it at the bottom, is worksheets, workbooks, and all of those things we've got to really take a strong look at, because our focus has to be on authentic reading and writing. And that's going to mean that these types of things often are not going to do the job. We've got to read and keep that reader's notebook, reflect on our reading every day, write in our reader's notebook. We've also got to practice the good elements of writing at the same time. And that's why we're asking every teacher to begin to build their skill even further. And I know people are all on the different continuum for doing the Readers and Writers Workshop. And that's one thing. I'm putting it here for you because it's very important. We've got to get to the place where the kids are doing real reading and the kids are doing real writing independently. And that's what we want to set up. And that's one of the kind of big ideas from this summer that we've got to wrap around. The last few summers we've done book studies on Readers and Writers Workshop. We've had Linda Ellis here. We've had some other we've just had little tidbits. We've even have some videos, and we'll have those available for checkout. But at this point, we've got to get serious about it, because that's what our texts are asking us to do. That reading-writing connection that allows kids to dig in on their own in an independent way, to be good with all kinds of text, reading it and creating it. Now, one of the questions that people have asked me is in regard to making meaning. Does making meaning with our new textbooks get to go away? And I am, after some time studying the new textbooks and looking at what this connection is, I'm ready to give you an answer. And the answer is no, making meaning is not going away. I cannot find in our textbooks that there is any place where it provides solid comprehension instruction in the manner that making meaning does. And so I'm going to have to ask that people get even better at making meaning, that we teach kids to make meaning from that text and use model text to help them get it, and then get that to independent reading level, whether in literature groups where they're reading together from similar books, or at an independent level where the teacher's doing conferencing with the kids and they're writing about their reading and reflecting on that as they go. So the first answer is making meaning is here to stay until we're so good at providing that comprehension instruction that we know that no matter what things that we're offering to the kids, they're very good at that. It will mean they'll have turn and talk to their neighbor. We'll have anchor charts on the wall. We'll have things that help the kids to be real readers. And I've been in many of our classrooms across the district in the last few months, and I'm still not seeing the turn and talk to your partner and process as much. I'm still seeing a lot of hand raising and teacher-led discussion. And what we want is to get that discussion in I guess the mouths of the kids. They're talking to each other. They're not just responding one at a time to us. And making meaning, if we started at the beginning of the year, sets up that reading community. That's very important that we set that up and get